Well, Wykinnya Whitehurst is with us here on Shout Radio. How are you doing today?
Finding yourself. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, I'm doing great, thanks. Now, you've got a book out called Things Collected Along the Way. So what can you tell us about the book?
Well, it's a daily devotional. It's a page-a-day book. And the book came about years ago when the initial plan was to write a book about my mom and growing up and the challenges I had. But it took a whole new spin. Instead of, honing in on the negative, I decided to encourage other people with some things I had been through in my life and in my past.
So would you say it's quite autobiographical, maybe?
Yes, definitely.
And what made you want to write this book?
By nature, I'm an encourager. And each morning when I got up and I got to work, I would send out an inspirational email to everyone that was on my email list just to encourage them for the day. And one of my girlfriends said to me, "You should put that in a book." And I was like, "Really?" She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Maybe I'll do that." So that's how it initially started with that book.
Yeah, it is quite important, this book, isn't it? Because you want to inspire people and motivate them, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. At my core, that's what I am. That's who I am.
Yeah. So what do you hope people will get from this book when they read it?
Well, I hope that, and I'm fully aware that every day may not speak to everyone, but there's something in a day for someone. And no matter what you're going through, oftentimes when you're going through hardships or challenging times, you feel like you're the only one going through that.
Yeah.
And in actuality, you're not. There's always someone that's been through something similar to what you've been through or going through. And it's just to give you a little lift for the day and to say, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Someone has been where I am right now. And if they made it, I can make it as well.
Of course, yeah. And how long did it take you to write the book?
About a year. About a year. Well, the emails took a year, and it took a year to format it and get it published and everything. So about 2 years total.
Yeah. And did the pandemic help with that, maybe, if you had been locked down and didn't have much else to do?
No, because I worked during the pandemic. I worked in healthcare, so I was actually in the office every single day. And I just graduated college, so I got my master's degree. And but it really took some sacrifice. It really took sacrifice. Yeah. But I did.
So I guess you were a lot busier than most people during COVID.
Absolutely.
So how did you manage to find time to write when you had quite an intense and busy job?
Every moment that I wasn't working in my 9 to 5 or that I wasn't working on school, I just wrote something for the book. So I didn't have any free time, actually. So when everybody else was sleeping, I was awake. And when everybody else was out having fun, I was doing other things. So sacrifice.
And why did you decide to call it Things Collected Along the Way?
Because it's all the things that I've learned. So these are teaching tools. And they are all things that I've gathered in my experience through life.
Yeah. What got you interested in writing in the first place? Had you written books before this?
No, first one. I didn't know that I could, and I wasn't sure that I would. But I had people on my side encouraging me, "You can do it, you can do it." And just so happened, God just put people in my path. He put people in my path, and it just happened. I can't explain it. And I oftentimes ask myself, why me? But I've heard people say I was going to write a book. Everybody's going to write a book when you've written a book. And I'm just like, thank God that wasn't me. I actually did it. And I've always been the kind of person that see things through. And once I set my mind to it, it was just moving straight forward for me.
Was it quite hard to learn how to write a book?
It was difficult. It was difficult. But like I say, my team was great, and they helped me along the way. And they pushed me, and they pulled me, and they tugged me. And, it's not an easy thing. It's very time consuming, and you have to be focused, and you have to be committed to finishing it. Because it's easy to say, well, I'm this far, I can relax a little bit. It's very easy to get complacent. But however, for me, I have to give myself deadlines. So if I do that, it's easier for me to follow through.
Yeah. Would you say that you enjoyed writing a book?
I did. did. I really did. I really did. And it's just like birthing a baby.
Yeah.
When you get the book in your hand and you actually see it and it's like, oh, this is my baby. So yeah, I did. It did. It was definitely a learning process and a growing process.
Yeah. And I suppose this is your first book, so maybe you don't really know the answer to this, but would you say it was harder or easier because you were sort of writing about your own life?
I don't know. I don't know that it was easy and I don't know that it was hard. So I'm in that influx between the two.
Yeah.
So it definitely was not easy. But to say it was hard, I don't know that it was hard because it was about me. Challenging because I had to do a lot of thinking and a lot of soul searching about myself because the book is totally about me, my experiences, and no one else's. So challenging.
And what was your favorite part of writing the book?
The favorite part is when I got to the end of the book. And I was able to go back and scroll back and look at all the pages I had done.
Wow.
And just the unbelief that I actually did it, even before sending it to the editor. That was the best part of reflecting back on the book and seeing all that I'd done.
And how long did the book end up being?
It's 365 days.
Ooh.
So it's a page a day. It's not necessarily a full page because it's a small book. Yeah. It's a small book. I can't remember the dimensions, but it's something that you can tuck away in your purse or put in your luggage or sit by your nightstand. So it's not a how do I say it? It's not like a complete, it's quotes. It's my quotes. Some of the pages are longer than others, but for the most part, it's short and to the point.
And do you think that you could write more books? Would you be interested in doing that?
I am. The second book is at the editor as we speak. So it should be published probably not by the end of this month, but the middle of August. And it's a partner to Things Collected Along the Way. The name of this book is Nuggets and Tidbits for This Thing Called Life. And you don't have to have book one necessarily to read book two, but it's an expansion because book one is basically quotes. Book two expands upon those quotes. It's more in depth.
Yeah, that's interesting. And what made you want to write a second book? Was it just the enjoyment of the first one?
It was, but I knew I had more to say.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. And I'm actually working on a third.
Ooh.
That is not a devotional. It's more of a autobiography. But it's not in quote form. It's not in devotional form.
Yeah. And would you consider writing other books that maybe are about a completely different thing, maybe fiction?
I don't know. I can't answer that for sure. I can't answer that for sure. What I am an expert on is me. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll flow into that genre eventually. I'm not sure. I'm just going to go where the pen takes me.
Yeah. Well, when you're not writing and things, what do you like to get up to in your free time?
Well, I have a bunch of girlfriends that I love spending time with, and we take trips. And also, I absolutely adore spending time with my husband and my family. Family is very important to me. Yeah. Family and friends. Absolutely. So, and I love going to church. I go to church.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Well, where can we find your book, Things Collected Along the Way, and also keep up to date with you everywhere?
Okay, so my website is in the process of being completed. So that would be www.dreamoutloud.com, and that's www.dreamoutloud.com. And my email address is Wykinnya, WYKINNYA, @dreamoutloud.com.
Excellent. Well, many thanks for coming on the show today. It's been great to chat to you.
Thank you. You have a good day.